Welcome to the Christian Life Coach Collective. I'm your host, Laura Malone, and you are in the right place if you want to make an impact in your life and the lives of the people around you. Maybe you even want to turn your gift of helping others into an income so you can support your family and your dreams and make a way for your calling. I'm here to guide you because you deserve to have encouragement and resources and somebody invested in you as you go invest yourself into everyone else. Let's dive into today's episode.
Hi there, friend. Today, I want to introduce Coach Crystal. She's in the Greenhouse course, and during one of our live Zoom calls, we had a great conversation about her life and how she has started her coaching business and the things that she's courageously stepped into, how she's used her confidence of willing to show up and try to bless the people around her, to mentor and teach and coach, simply by using the experience that she has. So she's a homeschooling mom. Her husband is self-employed, and they have boys, teenage boys, who have been watching them grow as people, as a couple, as employers, and as entrepreneurs, both of them. And also, I think homeschooling, honestly, it's like running a full-time ministry, like a nonprofit ministry. And their kids have gotten to watch that. And I want you to hear from her, just her heart, how being a coach and stepping into the things that she knows about and cultivating what she carries, the story and the experiences and the wisdom into a coaching practice. It's a generational legacy that she's creating. She's blessing her family, and she gets to stay home and do it. So I want you to hear how homeschooling and coaching business and using the gifts and the skills and the seasons, all of the things that are woven into your storyline just naturally are really they're things that go together. They benefit one another. They can dovetail and work really well. That doesn't make it easy or like there's no work to be done. It just means that if you are a stay-at-home mom or even a working mom and you have kids at home, whether they're in school and home part-time or home during the summers or you homeschool them, coaching is actually a really feasible work-at-home business to build using your skills, knowledge, and experience and just the heart that you have to serve people. And Crystal is a wonderful example of that. So I wanted you to hear our conversation. So let's dive in.
Hi, Crystal.
Hello, how are you? I'm so excited I can make it on today.
That's awesome. How are things going?
Slow, but more steady now. We're finished with the brunt of the homeschooling. We're kind of slowing down. So I'm working my module 2 now, finally.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, homeschooling. Woof. I'm always glad when I just say, let's stop.
Well, we go year round.
Do you?
Just because we do take breaks here and there.
Yeah.
But the summer we do take a lighter approach.
Yeah.
And then my husband is a general contractor. And so the job that he's working with right now, he can take the boys with him, which is probably not acceptable in most areas, but in Western Texas, it's very acceptable as long as it's, of course, safe. They're actually working on putting a pond in. And so it's something they kind of found amusing. And so it's like, okay. He's like, well, I think we gotta take the boys today. I'm like, okay, go ahead, take the boys.
But that kind of experience, I mean, that's the joy of homeschooling, right? Is that they're learning through experience, and they have the opportunity to do that. And we've often, because we traveled a lot, because we took a lot of breaks too, our homeschool was kind of like, you're going to just be learning all of the time.
Yep.
And we had to spend many years getting out. They would say like, don't want to do school right now. We're at, the store. And I'm like, we're not doing school. We're learning.
Right.
It's the point. Stop resisting learning. I'm not trying to make you do school right now. I'm trying to make you have a thought process.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I'm a homeschooler.
Exactly.
I want to teach you how to think. So how does that, I think that when you're a homeschooler, it's really beneficial if you want to have a coaching business because it's so flexible around homeschooling and like family responsibilities and being able to stay home and do what you do, especially in like an online coaching business where you can coach people over Zoom or something like that, or have people to your home or take you. There's so much flexibility in homeschooling and a coaching business that you get to, okay, you guys go do this. We're at the library. I'm going to be in that. You go do this. I'm going over here. I have a client. And part of your learning lesson today is time management. You're not allowed to come in that door for an hour.
Exactly what you said. I've been following your podcast for a long, long time. I got into coaching. I've had two previous coaches to this program, and I've actually been lightly coaching myself already. I developed a class, we'll call it that, a course, however you want to put it. I do teach it myself. And through that, I started coaching. And so, yeah, I actually have one client every month so far, just one. I offer the class about every 2 months. But anyway, and after the class is when they often will decide to coach with me. But right now, I just have one. And yeah, exactly what you said. Like we will do our schoolwork or part of the work or whatever I feel like we need to get done that day. And here in our house, we have a game room and then we have the main house. It's separated by our garage, which we did on purpose. That way the children can have, or they're not children anymore, they're teens. They can have a big, loud, group of boys in there watching a movie. And it doesn't, we go check on them, but, everybody kind of has a little bit of privacy. So I go into the game room. I have a little desk in the corner. I'm like, okay, boys, you guys go inside. We also have animals. So you take care. Typically, it's during the time when the animals need to be checked on because we're in West Texas where it's very hot and they need to be checked on. So I'm like, you go take care of the animals. You go do this. I have a snack set up for you. After that, you can watch a half an hour of whatever, and then I'll be done. And, they will remind me when my hour is up if I go over, which is fine. I tell the person, I'm like, okay, I apologize. We went over. The boys are letting me know it's an hour, but they've learned to do all of those things and maybe it is a math lesson they have to do while I'm doing that, right? But they've learned to do all those things and not have to have mom hovering over their shoulder. And they're 12 and 14 now. And so it's good for them to learn these things. Right. And so, yeah, for sure. It's been for everything we've ever done, because we've we're just closing out our 22nd year, because our oldest daughter is 27. But for everything we've ever done, the homeschooling works so well because if it was, I had to do work because my husband's always been self-employed. If I had to do paperwork for him, if I had to get out invoices, whatever. Anyway, I could always, okay, here you go. And then here we go. And so, no, it's, I feel like probably not an out of home job, but I feel like any job that a mom wants to do from home, homeschooling is perfect for us.
Yeah. I agree. It's one of the benefits of, while I was a homeschooler and my husband traveled a lot and we run our disaster relief organization.
Yeah.
To be able to start a coaching business where everything I did was at home I had to fit things where I could. Because the responsibility and the priorities were still the kids and the house and the ministry, but I could start creating content and thinking about what I would want to do and learning and growing and coaching myself and then taking coaching clients that fit into a schedule that had great, like different kinds of priorities in that stage.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are like, I don't know how I would start a business right now. I've got all of this going on. And I always say, like, start with as much as you can. Start dreaming, start journaling, start writing out what your business wants to be, what you would want it to be. Why wait 5 or 10 years to start dreaming? Start dreaming now. Start creating ideas that you'll cultivate all of that stuff that's in your mind and your heart.
Yeah.
And one day, when it's the right phase of life, stage of life, and your kids are here and they're more, self-sustainable, things like that, and you're less needed over here, you already have such a strong foundation and framework for the dream in your heart, the calling on your life as a coach, or whatever you're going to do, your business. You have a framework that you worked for days, months, years on already.
Yeah.
You're not just having to figure out what to do now. And what I did is I just felt like the dream kind of came alive in my heart in like 2012. And we lived in Hawaii. We had one car. My husband left the country a lot. And we were running a school with the YWAM, Youth with a Mission there. So had a lot on my plate. And we had no money because we run a nonprofit. Didn't like island hop and have fun or anything. I wasn't swimming with dolphins every day or anything. I was just sitting at home homeschooling, and we were making oobleck and cracking mac nuts from the backyard. Like it
Yeah.
just a dream started manifesting in my thought life, my creativity, and I started journaling it, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but it became a framework years later when I started my business. I looked and I went, I have already thought of all of it. And there was room for it, but I think too, my kids watched me dream and turn it into something. And I'm like, if all you got out of homeschooling was watching me do something God called me to do and figure out how to do it, awesome. Like,
Right.
do you feel like your boys, they got to see because they're homeschooled, like, but also even if they're in public school or something like that, they still get to see us as parents do things and take action. So they've watched you said your husband's always been self-employed. That means they've watched a business be built and grow. And now then they get the chance to watch you take the calling as a coach in your life and turn that into something. Like, how's that benefiting them to see what's possible for their futures and who they are?
Oh, for sure, because I just finished an ebook, and I'd be sitting here with that's why I need to get all my stuff in order with what I've been trying to. Oh, I'm been the flow desk and all the things I've been working on that this morning. But anyway, they watched me write an ebook, and I'm sitting here typing, and they're like maybe doing some copy work or doing a math lesson or whatever, and they're seeing mom, here typing, and then going back and rewording it, changing it up and everything, and we actually I see that's the thing. I've been speaking for a while already. I did not realize I was a coach already. Exactly what you say is true because I've been homeschooling forever, and I'm one of the older moms in our area with still homeschooling. And then I started speaking, not because I felt like I was eloquent to speak or even that I had really anything beneficial to say, to be very honest. I was invited to speak. And I thought, well, because I'm, like I said, I'm one of the older homeschool moms here. And I'm like, okay, what will I share? And so then from there, like I wrote a speech for that. They're watching me learn and write, and now learning this technology stuff that I'm not very good at. And what we talked about, a big theme at the homeschooling conference last weekend was cultivating that love of learning. And like I was telling one of the super young moms, she didn't even have a child technically in school yet. He was not even 5 yet. And I said, really truthfully, because she was like, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm like, be patient with yourself and cultivate that love of learning. I said, see, I'm up here. I have my notes for my speech. And I'm like, this is something the boys got to watch me do. Um, you know, I don't really struggle. I do get nervous. I won't say I don't, but I don't really struggle with public speaking like a lot of people do. I've always been very much of an extrovert. A lot of people say I'm an extreme extrovert. So that wasn't the struggle. The struggle was allowing Holy Spirit to work through me and to write the proper words and the proper notes down to share with this specific audience this year. And it's not, I guess it's not so much struggle as a process, but they get to watch me and they get to see that sometimes mom has to go and look up words or terms that might relate better to this generation. Because
Right.
I'm in my mid 40s and I'm speaking to 20 somethings, So they see mom having to learn, um, not dumb down my language. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you understand, like make it more relevant.
You have to translate.
Yeah, exactly. Make it more
Yeah.
relevant to this generation because what I would say the way I might speak to another 45-year-old mom is not the same way I'm going to be able to speak to a 25-year-old mom. And so it's absolutely been a journey,
Yeah.
a blessing. And then even now, like when I was the 25-year-old mom homeschooling, and then I could relate to them on the same level. Now they're actually looking up to me. That's a hard place to be, but it's a good place to be because the Lord pushes you to higher, to further lengths and higher standards.
Enlarge the place of your tent.
Yeah, for
And
sure. And then last year, Low German is my second language. It's my husband's first language, and we have a very, very large low German community in our area that have immigrated from different areas, and probably a lot of them don't speak English. They might speak Spanish, but I don't speak Spanish. And so I now went and I have done 2 years in a row where I spoke in Low German.
Wow, that's all.
And our boys know that that is not mom's first language.
Right.
It's dad's first language, but it's not mom's. I only learned as an adult. And so I'm like, okay, now that is uncomfortable. When you're speaking to these people who their first language is Low German and yours is not, some things do get lost in translation. So it takes even more studying up on, okay, I'm going to use this word, but is this word proper? Does this word apply? Is this really the word I want to use to get this specific idea across? Mm-hmm. So again, like you said, stretching that tent material.
Yep. And it's the pressure and the conflict that it tests the fabric
for sure.
What you're teaching and expressing and doing. It's how conflict tests the fabric of a relationship.
Yeah.
The pressure and the conflict and the tension, especially being thrust into a situation that you set it as a goal to become the person who teaches this in Low German. Like, you're put into a position to do it, and it stretches you differently than if you had put yourself in the olive press on purpose.
Right.
Human nature isn't inclined to saying, please press and crush me to see what comes out. We're like, wait a minute, you did what? You signed me up to say that?
Yeah, she did ask me first. Like, our leader did ask me first, but I'm like, let me think about this. And, when you feel the Holy Spirit just like, you can do this. I didn't feel okay with saying no.
Right.
Because I knew that the need was so large and the resources as far as people is small. We have plenty that could probably have delivered my message so much better than me, but they won't get up and speak in front of a group of people. And
also they're not going to get the experience and the stories that you bring to it, your perspective and your wisdom. Yeah. They'll bring theirs, but nobody can bring yours, right? So it's awesome. I'm proud of you for being willing to show up and try.
Well, thank you. I've done it 2 years now. Let's see if they're going to call me back for the third.
It's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all that. It shows how you are showing up and trying, and you're learning and you're growing and you're failing and succeeding, and people are watching you because your kids are in that sphere of influence that they get to learn from what you say and do and all that you're learning, and they see that learning never ends. I don't need to tell you exactly what you need to know. I need you to figure out how to find out what to know for the rest of your life. It's like a life skill.
Yeah. Last year, I was a little more nervous. This year, I was still nervous, but it was absolutely an experience. And the boys saw me like, this is not easy for mom, but mom's going to do it anyway because she knows it's going to bless someone else. Because even if my language wasn't perfect, but somehow Holy Spirit can use that to bless someone else.
Okay, so that wraps up our conversation with Crystal. She's amazing. I love hearing her heart for her family and the people that she serves, and even just her willingness to show up and do things that she doesn't feel really qualified to do, but she knows there's a need. And that is one of the biggest hindrances that we hit, that I think our souls just rise up and go, no, I can't. I'm not qualified. And there's a bunch of people out there that need you to do it unqualified. Until you believe you're qualified, they need you to show up. And it's like Moses saying, who am I? Like, what? You want me to talk to the people? But listen to me talk, I want you to think of what's possible for you. And I want you to take hope and courage from Crystal's storyline. I want you to see what's possible for you. And I want you to be blessed. And remember, all things really are possible for you. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And everything that you need to do, it's all figure outable. And that's literally what a coach is for, to help you figure it out. Have a great day.
If you'd like to work with me and get coaching, become a coach, or start a coaching business, check out all the courses and coaching I offer at sterlingandstonementoring.com, or you can scroll through the show notes to find all the links that you need. I pray that your day will be full of joy, hope, transformation, and the presence of God.